If a break-in turned into a shootout, would you know where to take cover, or would you freeze in the open? Most people think grabbing a weapon is enough, but where you stand can decide everything. Real gunfights are messy, fast, and unforgiving, and your house isn't built like a fortress. But certain spots give you a serious advantage, and we're not guessing here. This is based on real police tactics, SWAT training, and raw survival data. Forget Hollywood scenes. This is about what actually works when lives are on the line. If you're ever forced to defend your home, holding the top of a staircase gives you a serious edge. That position naturally creates a bottleneck. There's only one way up, and that means you control the flow. This is a proven tactic used in military urban warfare and police training drills. In law enforcement room clearing exercises, officers are taught that vertical angles, especially staircases, are among the hardest areas to approach because of how exposed the climber is. From the top, defenders can duck, fire, and reposition while staying partially concealed. For intruders, they're climbing blind. Their head is the first thing that shows. In close quarters, that's all the window you need. SWAT instructors often refer to staircases as forced choke points. No matter how many doors or hallways your home has, the staircase is one spot where you can predict movement. That's rare in a chaotic home invasion. From the top, you can quickly glance down to track movement and set your aim before your attacker can even lock on to your location. Most residential staircases are also narrow, which means multiple intruders have to come up single file. That strips away any numbers advantage they might have had. Another thing to keep in mind, sound travels up. If someone's creeping through your home, you'll likely hear them from upstairs before they even see you. That extra half second to react can mean everything. And then there's the layout advantage. Most staircases in homes are tucked near central walls, meaning that if you're at the top, you're within sprinting distance of multiple rooms, extra ammo, or escape routes. You're also more likely to have cell reception upstairs. Crucial if you're calling 911 mid-defense. If you're trained or even semi-prepared, that top step can become a stronghold. You can position yourself behind furniture, use the handrail as partial cover, and even deploy a flashlight or strobe to disorient anyone climbing up. Of course, you shouldn't just stand there exposed. Use available cover, move between angles, and know that most stair balusters or drywall barriers offer no ballistic protection. But your advantage lies in the terrain itself. You're higher, you see more, you hear more, and they're walking straight into it. When bullets start flying, your survival often depends on what's between you and the threat. And no, that decorative plasterboard wall in your living room won't stop anything. Most standard residential walls are just drywall over wooden studs, lightweight, cheap, and totally useless against gunfire. What you need is real cover, something that stops bullets, not just sight lines. Police and military instructors draw a clear line between cover and concealment. Concealment hides you. Cover protects you. Behind a solid wall made of brick, concrete, or even reinforced cabinetry, you cut your risk of being hit dramatically. According to FBI studies on active shooter scenarios, a person standing in the open during an exchange has an 85% chance of getting hit. With proper cover, that drops to just 26%. That's not a small difference. That's survival. Some of the best cover options in a home aren't what you would expect. A brick fireplace column, a reinforced bookcase built into a wall, or a home safe bolted into the floor can provide serious ballistic resistance. If you've got a pantry with a commercial-grade fridge or a kitchen island built with solid stone, those are even better than most interior walls. Body positioning matters too. You want to crouch or kneel, not stand fully upright. Keep your dominant eye and shoulder just around the edge. Keep your weapon ready to return fire without giving away your full silhouette. The key is minimizing your target area while maximizing your control. If you know your home's layout well, you can even pre-identify these hard cover zones. Memorize the few places in your house where walls connect to solid structural supports or where appliances can double as makeshift shields. A quick retreat behind a washer-dryer combo could save your life if that's the thickest barrier available. Don't waste time behind drywall, doors, or even large furniture unless you're sure it can stop a round. In a real shootout, your instincts will kick in fast. But if those instincts send you behind a hollow wall, you've got nowhere to go next. So now that you know how to shield yourself properly, what if you could see them before they ever see you and control the entire entry point from above? Let's move to the balcony. If someone breaks into your house and you've got access to a balcony or upper floor ledge that overlooks the lower level or entry point, you're in a position of major advantage. Height changes everything in a gunfight. From above, you can see wider, shoot farther, and stay hidden longer. The intruder has to tilt their head up and scan blindly. Meanwhile, you've already got the drop on them. Literally. This is why elevated positions are a fundamental part of military and SWAT tactics. Whether it's a second-story landing, a loft, or an interior balcony that looks over your living room, that high ground gives you control. You can track movement before the intruder spots you, and since they're more focused on ground-level threats, you're not the first place they're looking. That delay works in your favor. In tactical engagements, seconds matter. In 2024, during the Charlotte shootout, law enforcement made use of upper-floor windows to return fire while staying hidden from the initial line of attack. That allowed officers to coordinate better, protect themselves, and maintain a full view of the situation. This same principle applies in your home. If you've got a hallway or balcony that gives you a bird's-eye view of the front door or common areas, you can monitor movement, plan your shot, or even shoot out warnings to family without giving up your position. If you're using a flashlight, never keep it steady. Flash once, move. Light once, fire. Then change your angle. These small moves are often taught in special response units because they work so well in dynamic interior situations. Balconies are tactical. They let you observe, choose your moment, and end the fight before it even begins. You want eyes first, action second. That's the rule when you're above your threat. But sometimes you don't get to hold high ground. Maybe the fight comes to you and you're forced to retreat. When there's no time to think and the only option is survival, the safest move might be to shut yourself in. When every second counts and the intruder is already inside, a closable room with a lock can become your lifeline. Bedrooms, home offices, and dens with solid doors and interior locks can turn into emergency bunkers in a matter of seconds. You're not trying to win a war in there. You're trying to stay alive long enough for help to arrive and for the threat to break. Police strategy is clear on this, whether it's a school lockdown or a home invasion. The goal is to delay. The more barriers between you and the attacker, the better. SWAT protocols teach that rooms which can be locked or barricaded are statistically more survivable. The Department of Homeland Security has consistently emphasized the value of secure-in-place techniques for civilians, especially in active shooter situations. In home defense, time is your greatest weapon. A locked door forces an intruder to make noise, slow down, and expose themselves. That gives you the window to dial 911, arm yourself, or move to a better shooting angle. In homes with solid core bedroom doors or reinforced frames, forced entry can take 30 seconds or more. That might not sound like much, but under stress, it's a lifetime. Data from FBI case reviews shows that rooms with locked doors or barricades are far less likely to become fatal engagement zones. In the 2017 Sutherland Springs church shooting, for instance, individuals who locked themselves behind doors survived even when gunfire passed through walls. The delay kept the attacker moving, and those precious seconds bought them their lives. A closable room also gives you access to supplies, spare ammo, a flashlight, or even something as simple as a water bottle or phone charger if things stretch out. Most people spend a lot of time in their bedroom. That's where their gear is. If you plan in advance, storing emergency items near or inside your room makes a huge difference. When defending a room, position yourself in a corner that gives you visibility of the door without standing in front of it. Don't crouch directly behind the bed or desk if it's hollow. Instead, go beside something solid and stay silent. A closet with a heavy door can be used to redirect attention while you prepare to act. The lock doesn't guarantee safety, but it creates time, and in a fight, that lets you think. It gives law enforcement time to respond, and it gives you the upper hand in a fight you never wanted. Like the stairway, The hallway near your front entry can become the most aggressive defensive zone in your entire house. The layout alone gives you a major tactical advantage. It narrows movement, limits the intruder's options, and keeps them exposed for longer than they realize. If you're ready and positioned well, that stretch of floor becomes your control zone. Reinforced entryways make this even more effective. A solid front door with a deadbolt and strong frame already delays intruders by several seconds. That delay is enough for you to get into position in the hallway. Once inside, most attackers are going to expect a clear run toward valuable rooms, kitchen, living room, bedrooms. But what they walk into is a long, tight corridor that leaves no space to maneuver. They're walking straight toward your line of sight with limited cover and nowhere to duck. SWAT teams train heavily on how to clear these kinds of areas. In door kick drills, they emphasize how risky it is to enter a hallway without a clear view of what's on the other side. Why? Because if someone's waiting there just beyond the threshold, they own that space. Police teach that blind corners, poor lighting, and narrow zones are the worst-case scenario for the person entering, which is why police use a shield for this. When you defend from one end of a hallway, especially if it has solid sidewalls, you're forcing the attacker into a straight line. They can't fan out, they can't flank, their mobility drops to zero. You don't even need to expose yourself. You can post up behind a wall edge, a heavy piece of furniture, or even a structural beam and control the entire path in front of you. Lighting also plays into this tactic. If your hallway has overhead lights, turn them on. Keep yourself in the dark, but light the path ahead. You want to see them before they see you. A cheap motion sensor by the door frame can also flip the advantage further in your favor, especially at night. They break the door, the light snaps on, and suddenly they're lit up like a target while you stay hidden. Homes without security systems are 300% more likely to be broken into, showing how criminals target easy access points. A locked front door with reinforced hinges, an internal deadbolt, and even a brace bar dramatically cuts down forced entry success. Pair that with smart hallway defense, and you've got more than just a plan. You've got control. Once the intruder is inside, they think they're in, but in that hallway, they're still exposed. And if you're trained, or even semi-prepared, that space becomes a trap. Not in a passive way, but in a controlled, deliberate way. You own that path. You controls what happens next. And that's it. Which spot in your house do you think gives you the best edge? Would you hold the high ground or lock in behind solid cover? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, give the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content like this.